सब कुछ रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है ना, हो रहा है। सो गाइस, तो देखो कौन लौट के आया है, हमारे AR मांगा भाई साहब। 1 साल बाद वापिस आए हैं। वैसे ये बाकी के ऊपर ही वीडियो डालता
Today we
है।
are going to talk about
मुझे जितना पता है कि ये एक इंडियन बंदा ही है। अब मुझे नहीं पता इसको हिंदी आती है या नहीं, पर मुझे तो आती है। और इंग्लिश बस मुझे समझ में आती है, बोलना नहीं आती। बोलना बोलना मतलब बड़ा मुश्किल सा लगता है यार। समझ आ जाती है पर वही है। पर गाइस, लास्ट वीडियो डाली थी 10 महीने बाद, पहले 10 महीने पहले इसने लास्ट वीडियो डाली थी पिकल के ऊपर, जिसके ऊपर शायद मैंने रिएक्ट भी किया था। तो मुझे इसकी बाकी वाली सीरीज काफ़ी ज़्यादा पसंद है, क्योंकि ये चैनल पे डालता ही बस बाकी की है। यार मुझे लगता है ना, ये अगर चैनल पे हर महीने भी वीडियो डाले ना भाई, पता नहीं इसको अच्छे खासे व्यूज आते हैं। देखो भाई, 1.6 मिलियन, 5 लाख, 5 लाख, 5 लाख, 5 लाख, 5 लाख, अच्छे खासे व्यू आते हैं। पर भाई वीडियो ही नहीं डालता भाई, पता नहीं क्या सोचता है। पर गाइस, न्यू वीडियो चेकआउट करते हैं, बाकी वर्सेस यूजिरो। तो ये लास्ट फाइट थी बाकी और यूजिरो की, तो इसके ऊपर मुझे पता था ये वीडियो बनाएगा, तो देख लेते हैं।
not
भाई, अगर भाई तुमने बाकी शुरू से नहीं देखी है ना, तो तुम भी सोचोगे कि बाकी है क्या।
Today we are going to
यूजिरो
talk
के
about the
कंधे पे
not
बैठा
so
है।
average father and son fight. It all starts with the son wanting his father to cook for him and have a nice meal. So Yujiro,
यस,
as a good father, comes to his son's
सीजन बढ़िया था ये
apartment
वाला।
and they
पर
have coffee together. After which, Baki asks Yujiro to
कॉफी भाई,
make him a coffee, and Yujiro does a very typical Asian father thing. I will not just make you coffee, son. I will make you an extra special coffee. But we are missing something for that. Tell me, Dad, what magical ingredient do I have to get you to make the extra special coffee? You have to get my neck and mop the floor with my face. Guess I will have to brew my own strength then, Dad. Just kidding, he didn't say the last line. And then Yujiro just leaves.
भाई थम फाइट भी
Later in
करते हैं
the
रे,
evening,
हम नहीं
Yujiro
रोक
drinks
पेपर
and
सीजर भी
smokes.
करते हैं।
And during this time, he gets lost in the father-son love bond. Then he comes home where both Baki and Yujiro have their dinner together. And then this kid Baki asks Yujiro to do the dishes. Yujiro and dishes. And Yujiro agrees to do the dishes only if Baki beats him in rock, paper, scissors. Yujiro loses, but he is too damn masculine for the rules and even his scissors cut the rock. Typical Yujiro Hanma. And in the end, Baki
भाई यूजिरो के सामने कोई रूल नहीं बना सकता, उसके रूल चलते हैं। बोलता है ऐसी सीजर भी होती हैं दुनिया में जो कि स्टोन को काट सकती है। ये तो सच बोला भाई।
does the dishes. But Yujiro, being a gentleman, invites Baki to dinner. So the next night, Baki
Invisible
goes to
dinner.
the five-star hotel for dinner and gets shocked after seeing the prices on the menu. To give you some context, Baki is literally a billionaire. This is the house he was born in. That should tell you just how much Baki has trained. He does not know anything other than fighting. Baki goes to the dining area where Yujiro comes and scolds Baki on his outfit while wearing a jacket on the same clothes he has been wearing for years. I am pretty sure Yujiro doesn't even wash his clothes, as he can just glare at them until the dirt jumps off in fear. Then Yujiro
ये तो
teaches
है।
Baki how to eat food like a gentleman. Later, Baki asks Yujiro why he killed his mother.
वैसे इस वाले सीजन में यूजिरो बाकी को फुल चीजें सिखा रहा था कि कैसे कर। भाई अच्छा डैड बन गया था यूजिरो। जितने पूरे सीजन में नहीं बना, वो आगे खाना भी खिलाएगा।
Obviously, Yujiro gets super angry. I mean, how can a son ask his father why he murdered his mother? That's outrageous. Such a bratty child Baki is. Not only that, but he also lays his hands on Yujiro, and Yujiro grits his teeth so hard he becomes so angry that the whole building starts shaking. Typical Baki stuff. That's how
हाँ,
the
टिपिकल
fight
बाकी
starts.
स्टफ।
Yujiro grabs Baki, jumps out of the window, and crashes into a car where the narrator tells us how it is possible to survive a crash from such height.
Is it even possible to land on a target when jumping from a high-rise
लॉजिक है
building?
भाई, बाकी का लॉजिक है।
Baki O'Connor, age 53, with the airborne training unit of the 1st Airborne Brigade of the Ground Self-Defense Force. He's made 345 jumps. He had this to say. Maybe you have to control your descent. For example, if you assume proper posture at a height of about 9,800 feet, if you fell 60 seconds, you cover around 3,200 feet. So if you're in high rise, say you're over 490 feet in the air,
मैं तो भूल गया भाई इस वाले
I
सीन को।
highly doubt they would have a scratch even if they would have directly fallen on the ground, considering Yujiro has literally stopped earthquakes. Then Yujiro throws Baki like a toy as always and grabs him by his cheeks while lecturing him. And what does Baki do? He starts thinking in the middle of the fight. He's thinking to himself about
सोचता
what
क्या
is
पर?
happening in the present rather than actually living in the present, and as a result gets kicked. Then in the middle of the fight, Yujiro shows Baki this is how a gentleman should poop, while the narrator explains us why this is the best technique and how it is so good.
He straightened his arms with all his might, and then used the same strength to flex them. He put his legs down with all his might, and lifted them up with tremendous power. He touched his back. He was able to sacrifice
बाकी का भाई नेक्स्ट सीजन भी आएगा, पता नहीं कब तक आएगा पर वो।
And then the fight continues in a very repetitive manner while thousands of civilians gather outside to watch the fight. I know you are dumb, but you can at least understand something this simple. Attack me, you idiot!
Time to take charge.
He is so good. You pathetic piece of shit. Come at me. Let's end this. Let's become a cockroach.
अभी डायनासोर भी बनेगा।
Well, Baki.
सुप्लेक्स।
Yujiro was about to jump on Baki and tell him how garbage he was, but surprise, surprise, there were tens of thousands of people gathered around watching him like they were watching zoo animals fight. Imagine being the strongest person in the world, having defeated the strongest countries in the world, and then one fine night you look like this. And this reporter is reporting you. Imagine being with this phase in the universe where everyone has a jawline, and if it was possible, the writer would have given a circle a jawline, where normal fighters are given more
ऐसी जो
cuts
लाइन है
in the
बस की।
director's extended version of a 3-hour epic saga. Yujiro asks Baki to not fight in front of the crowd, but Baki hits Yujiro with 3 strikes. And then he again becomes a cockroach, but this time he isn't even able to shake Yujiro because you can't use the same technique twice on Yujiro.
On Yujiro.
It's anything twice to the point that he even had sex with individuals just once. Because of this foolishness, Baki gets thrown like a doll and crashes into the ground. And what does the public do? An 18-year-old kid is bleeding and the public is talking about how hard this kid is dying, clicking photographs and taking videos from
Real life footage है भाई ये
This
तो।
is indeed pretty realistic. They
Yes,
are literally
yes.
zooming onto him with their 100x feature, uploading videos on TikTok with different hashtags.
Such a pussy.
I have no doubt that these angles are downloaded by the anime team from their TikTok, and maybe we will get a lot more angles of this fight.
ए यार मांगा भाई, अगर तुम देखोगे तो नहीं मुझे पता है, पर अगर बिलियन में एक चांस है तुम देख रहे हो तो यार कमेंट सेक्शन में बताना तुम हो कहाँ से। Where are you from, brother?
In decades, just like some other angles we are getting these days. Then Baki stands and stops his bleeding with his warrior mentality. Pretty realistic. While Baki prepares
Yes,
to
pretty
continue
realistic.
this fight, I am dancing to this banger.
ये तो भूल गया भाई, ओएसटी बढ़िया थी ये।
Then the fight continues.
Dinosaur, dinosaur, let's become a dinosaur.
Power
Yes.
of imagination!
डायनासोर भाई टिपिक नॉर्मल चीज है। पिकल भी आएगा ना मार खाने के
Now
लिए।
let me show you some of my imagination. Power of imagination! What's he imitating? I am imitating myself. Then in the middle of the fight, Yujiro asks Baki to come to him so that he can pet him as Baki was fighting so well. It was like a toxic couple where a partner does all the bullshit and in the middle of a very heated decisive moment, the narcissistic partner kisses the victim and the victim gets trolled. Just like a victim,
बाकी को रोना आ गया।
starts crying and goes to get patted on the head after being a little insistent. But at last,
Yes.
he broke the cycle, he took a stand and continued the fight instead of getting patted. But it is Yujiro we are talking about. He patted him anyway, trapping him
जबरदस्ती
once again.
भाई।
Even gaslighted my boy, saying he was waiting for Yujiro's approval. Then Yujiro gets pinned down to the ground and Baki becomes so happy only for Yujiro to pierce the ground with sheer force, punch through the asphalt and throw Baki like an insect. Then we see Hanayama just sitting in a bar and enjoying alcohol, whereas Chiharu insists Hanayama to go to the fight.
भाई ये वाले जोक से लग गया, पर जब तुम बाकी देखोगे ना ये सारे सीन होते हैं, तुम्हें पता है इनका कोई लॉजिक नहीं है, पर गाइस मजा आता है पूरा भाई। तभी भाई बाकी मेरी टॉप 10 एनिमे में जरूर रहेगी। यह 10 पे रहे हमेशा, पर रहेगी जरूर, चाहे कितनी बड़ी बढ़िया बढ़िया एनिमे आ जाए।
But Hanayama knows damn well whenever he goes to any of Baki's fight, his ass somehow always gets dragged by the ogre. Boss, let's go watch the fight. You 100-pound cockroach. When we go there, you're gonna fly to the hospital in one punch. It's me whose 300-pound ass will be on the ground getting all the beating from the ogre. You like the muscles on my frame, right? Yes, boss. So just drink your share of alcohol and sleep. And then the real fight starts when Yujiro activates his demon back and kicks Baki, which activates Baki's demon back as well. And just at that time, a hacker joins the fight. Yujiro Hanma.
What the hell, रुको यार, मेरा यहाँ पूरा सिस्टम खराब हो गया। फक। एक तो मोबाइल से मैं रिकॉर्ड करता हूँ, मोबाइल से एडिट करता हूँ। भाई जुगाड़ बढ़िया लगाया पर मैंने।
Being so powerful that an army
अच्छा यूजिरो का फादर ना? हाँ भाई, ये भी खतरनाक था।
And bombing it with 1,000 tons of TNT while being in a world.
नेक्स्ट सीजन में देखने के लिए मिलेगा जी हमें।
Such a level of power that you don't need to prove it by.
और गाइस इसके अलावा मतलब AR मांगा के अलावा एक और चैनल है जो कि मुझे काफी ज्यादा पसंद है, वो है CJ चैम्प्स का। भाई उसने भी वो भी ऐसे ही वीडियो बनाता है, मतलब जैसी AR मांगा बनाता है, पर गाइस प्योर गोल्ड ब्रो। दोनों के दोनों ही भाई मास्टरपीस वीडियो बनाते हैं। और मैं बात क्या कर रहा था? हाँ, मैं बात कर रहा था कि यो यूजिरो का ग्रैंडफादर है, वो नेक्स्ट सीजन में लौटेगा। स्पॉइलर है भाई, अब मुझे नहीं पता कि वो कैसे लौटेगा, पर बाकी का लॉजिक है वो लौट सकता है। मतलब वो मर चुका है पर फिर भी डॉक्टर उसे वापस लाएंगे, उसकी स्पिरिट वापस लाएंगे। बाकी
Going to
लॉजिक
places and beating some punching bags isn't something that Yujiro can relate to. Just to give you a clear idea of how much 1,000 tons of TNT really is, the bomb dropped on Hiroshima had a higher yield of 16,000 tons, and the island where 1,000 tons of TNT were bombed was a solitary one and had a total circumference of less than 1 kilometer. And even after all of this, Yujiro doesn't get a single scratch, still smiling like this and thinking, that's it, don't leave me after you have come all the way to this doo-doo island to kill this damn monkey. I wasn't coming out because I was enjoying the fireworks. I heard you had this new invention called the atomic bomb. Why don't you drop it too? It will be fun. As the commander doesn't get the permission to drop the atomic bomb, Yujiro just pierces the deck of the battleship with commander's body. And when he moves forward on the ship, literally thousands of people mindlessly jump into the ocean, and this is how this Japanese man was the first Hanma to defeat the USA. Power of imagination. Yuichiro Hanma gives Yujiro a taste of his own medicine as he comes out of nowhere, trashes Yujiro and just leaves. Yuichiro Hanma was disappointed in Yujiro because Yujiro was struggling against one of his own child, as Yuichiro Hanma himself can defeat Yujiro without breaking a sweat. Not because of the feats, as Yujiro has literally stopped earthquakes with his bare hands, which is a bigger feat than anything Yuichiro has shown, but just because look at Yuichiro. Yuichiro's nickname is Gigachiro. Yuichiro is the definition of I have no enemies.
Alive.
Yuichiro Hanma is not dead yet, he's just not on this earth. Just to give you a hint, he's helping some other superheroes right now to defeat some bigger level threats and manifested his spirit.
यूनिवर्स में मार रहा है भाई वो।
Yujiro struggling against Baki is not 100% true, but it's more true than false. After Yuichiro disappears, Yujiro uses Baki as an uncheck, but right then Baki activates his demon brain and kicks Yujiro. And at this time, Kozue came in between and asked them.
मैं तो भूल ही गया था भाई, यहाँ पे डीमन ब्रेन का भी सीन था। जिसके पास बाकी के पास डीमन ब्रेन है भाई, डीमन बैग के साथ साथ। एक तो यार सैंडो एक साइड से एक साइड हो जाता है, क्या करूं मैं इसका?
Stop the fight, but she gets the classic treatment. After which both of them start fighting raw, punching each other directly without defending them, and in the end, Yujiro hugs Baki and ends the fight. But Baki, even after being as good as dead, uses his spirit to kick Yujiro, after which Yujiro declares Baki the strongest.
अभी खाना भी खाएंगे ना ये? हाँ.
Cooks miso soup with tofu for Baki, a little salty one.
I recorded this part. I don't know. बाद में पढ़ लूंगा भाई मैं वीडियो पॉज करके, इतनी ज्यादा लंबी लिस्ट मैं नहीं पढ़ूंगा।
If you liked my content, then you can also take a look at our growing communities on Instagram, Twitter and Discord to stay updated and engage further. You can find all the links in the description below. That's it
बाकी
for
भाई
the
देखो
video,
मेरा भी
guys.
डोला
I
है
hope you guys liked the video. If you did, then you can like the video and subscribe to the channel.
भाई। वीडियो में एक बार भी यार अनलिमिटेड ब्लड सप्लाई नहीं थी और 6000 ईयर चाइनीज जुत्सु भी नहीं था भाई। आई एम डिसअपॉइंटेड ब्रो। पर गाइस अभी तक आधी वीडियो बनाई है, मुझे लगता है उस वाले में यही लिखा है कि स्क्रिप्ट कंप्लीट नहीं थी। भाई तुम्हें 10 महीने लग गए स्क्रिप्ट कंप्लीट करने में, अब वापस कब आओगे? 2025 के एंड में? लगता तो मुझे वही है। पर गाइस मैं अगर बोलूँ तो इसको भाई हर महीने एक वीडियो तो डालनी चाहिए। अलग एनीमे को भी ये पकड़ सकता है, काफी सारी एनीमे है, ऐसी वीडियो बना सकता है। पर गाइस ये वाली वीडियो काफी ज्यादा बढ़िया थी, माना आधी थी। अभी तक तो उसने जो बाकी उसने यूजिरो ने फूड बनाया है वो बाकी उठा के फेंकेगा भी। वो और ज्यादा मजा आएगा। पर गाइस अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई तो वीडियो को एक लाइक कर देना, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब, और तब तक के लिए AR मांगा की वीडियो और देख लेना। बाय। मेरी क्या देखोगे उसकी देखना। बाय।